It all began with an order. Pharaoh commanded that every newborn boy in the land be slaughtered. Only the girls were to be spared. Soldiers went from home to home. Fear spread across the land. Why would a king do something so cruel? Because the most powerful man on earth had been terrified by a dream. His priests warned him that a boy would be born among the enslaved Israelites, and that boy would one day bring down his kingdom. So Pharaoh decided he would stop the prophecy before it could even begin. Every newborn boy would die. But in one small home, a mother held her newborn son and refused to let fear win. That baby was Moses. His mother knew the soldiers would come. And then something extraordinary happened. God inspired her heart with a command that sounded impossible. Place the baby in a basket and set him upon the river. With trembling hands, she wove a small basket. She placed her baby inside it. Then she carried it to the waters of the Nile. A mother watching her child drift away is one of the hardest things imaginable. But she trusted that God would protect him. The river carried this basket gently downstream, not away from danger, but directly toward the palace of Pharaoh. Pharaoh's wife was walking near the water when she noticed the basket. Curious, she opened it. Inside was a crying baby boy. And in that moment, her heart filled with compassion. She turned to Pharaoh and said, "This child will be the comfort of my eyes. Do not harm him." And just like that, the very boy Pharaoh had ordered the world to destroy was now being raised inside Pharaoh's own palace, fed at his table, protected under his roof. God had not only saved Musa, he had placed him inside the lion's den and made the lion raise him. Years passed. Musa grew into a man. But God had a purpose waiting for him. One night in the desert, everything changed. Musa saw a strange fire burning on a mountain. When he approached it, he heard a voice. It was God speaking to him. God gave him a mission. Return to Pharaoh and call him to the truth. And God gave him a miracle. When Musa threw his staff onto the ground, it transformed into a living serpent, fast, massive, real. Armed with nothing but a wooden staff and faith in God, Moses prepared to return to the palace of the most powerful king on earth. But Musa knew his task was enormous, so he asked God for help. He prayed, "My Lord, expand my chest, make my task easy for me, and loosen the knot from my tongue so they may understand my speech." And God answered his prayer. God also allowed Musa to take his brother Aaron with him for support. Together, the two brothers walked toward the palace of Pharaoh. But Pharaoh only laughed, and he called for every master magician in the kingdom. He planned to humiliate Musa in front of the entire nation. On the day of the contest, thousands gathered. The magicians stepped forward. One by one, they threw their staffs and ropes onto the ground. Through powerful illusion, the ground seemed to fill with writhing snakes. The crowd gasped. But then Musa stepped forward. He threw down his staff, and it became a real serpent. Not an illusion, not a trick. The serpent devoured every false snake the magicians had created. The magicians froze. They had spent their entire lives mastering illusion, and they instantly recognized the difference between magic and a miracle. One by one, they fell to the ground in prostration. They declared their belief in the Lord of Musa. Pharaoh was furious, but his pride would not let him accept the truth. Instead, he gathered his army and chased Musa and his people. They fled until they reached the edge of the sea. In front of them was water. Behind them was Pharaoh's army. There was nowhere left to run. But this was exactly where God wanted them. Musa raised his staff, and the sea split apart. Walls of water rose like mountains on both sides. A path of dry land appeared through the middle of the ocean. An entire people crossed safely to the other side. But Pharaoh, blinded by arrogance, ordered his army to follow them in. They marched into the divided sea, and the moment the last of Musa's people reached safety, the waters crashed back together. Pharaoh and his army were swallowed by the sea. The man who had once ordered every newborn boy killed to stop this prophecy, drowned in the very waters that had once carried Musa safely to his palace. Power could not stop destiny, and tyranny could not defeat the truth.